I'm gonna wait until we have people in here, so I'm not just sitting here talking to myself. Which I would still feel that way when nobody is, you know, when you guys are here anyway. So, yeah. It's a little weird. Let's see. We got some people on here. Hi. Alright, let's see. No, is that events? No, I need event. No, wait, wrong one. Fairs and shows. I'll try, Brandy, but I don't know. I'll try my best. No, is that it? Is that what I want? What is this? Is that what I want? Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna get started. And I think I'm gonna close my Facebook because I'm gonna keep getting notifications. If you guys, if it starts freezing up or anything and you can't hear me, let me know. I'm gonna close out of that and go into it. Okay, so events. We are getting ready. Well, we are in it. The most busiest season of the year. Fall and winter is extremely busy for parties. Everybody wants pumpkin. But for events, you know, a lot of the holiday events happen, the craft shows, the fairs, fundraisers, and all that stuff all happen during this time as well. So Beverly actually was the one who asked if I would call her and go over events and how to set them up and how to find them and all that stuff like that. So anytime anybody ever asks for me to do any type of training, I always try to offer it to the team, because I know that if one's asking, then I know someone else is asking, wants to ask me as well, and they just are afraid to ask. So here we are. This is how it happens. So what are events helpful for? Events are great for PRV to get some sales during the month. It's also great for getting new leads, new contacts, getting parties, new team members. Events are great. You know, you're going to get access to customers you never probably would have been able to if from parties. You know, you have a much more vast of new customers that you can reach out to and help, you know, create the relationship with them and help hopefully retain them, because it is a little harder to retain customers from events. As long as you get their information and you can follow up with them and start getting that type of relationship with them, it's a little bit easier to retain them. So the first thing is I get asked is, where do I find events? I get asked that a lot, and sometimes you have to do a little digging and you have to do a little reaching out to people and asking. Facebook groups are really great. If you type in your wherever you live at, like Spotsylvania, Stafford, you can find a lot of different groups. You'll find yard sale sites, you'll find vendor groups, you'll find consulting groups. All of these groups are going to be helpful for you. The yard sale sites, I don't post in them. I don't really promote Scentsy either, but I get tagged in it a lot, so that's kind of why I stay in those groups. Just for that reason, is I really don't post anything else other than that. A lot of people post when they don't want Scentsy anymore, and they may try to get rid of some stuff, and I can find some stuff through there. Even though technically, if they're a consultant, they can't do that. Local churches, local schools. What else to have? And referrals from your customers as well, because if they're going to be active in the community, they're going to know where, you know, where shows are going to be at, where events are going to be at, and you can do that. But don't ever feel discouraged to not reach out to the churches or to the schools and ask them if there's any type of show happening and if there's a Scentsy rep. Really don't be discouraged when you find that they already have a Scentsy rep. I know I ask tons of coordinators, and I get told all the time there's a Scentsy rep, but that's just fine because they may keep my information on file, so later down the road maybe that Scentsy rep is not going to do the event and they're going to offer it up to me. So don't ever be discouraged when you start hearing a lot of, oh no, we already have a Scentsy rep, because more than likely it's going to be very common, but I still find them. You can Google search and look for local shows and events that are happening in your area, and you'll be surprised you'll be able to find a lot of them, and just start reaching out to them saying, hey, I need to know, is there a show, an event going on, and whatnot. There was a church that I remember passing last year. We were going somewhere in October. I don't remember. I think we were going to Graves Mountain, and I passed the church, and so I looked them up on Facebook, messaged them, and said, hey, that craft event that you have on the 24th, do you have a Scentsy rep? They responded back saying nope, and there it is. I just got an event, and all I did was ask them if they had a Scentsy rep. But of course this year I should have been offered the spot again, because usually once you're in, you're kept there. Like, they will keep offering it to you first until you no longer do it, and then after that the next Scentsy rep is the one who gets offered again. But this one, they sent us the email saying, okay, we're offering up to you guys first, but here's what's already filled and Scentsy's already taken. So I'm like, okay, well, thanks for offering up to me first. But that's alright, I couldn't do it anyway. But usually in my events, when I'm already locked in on the spot and I can't do it, I offer it up to you guys first, because I don't want to lose my spot. And if I know somebody is definitely going to do it, they pay me and I still hold the spot. That way I don't have to worry about losing my spot. Especially like Port Royal, if you're a returning vendor, they discount it. So it's $25 for a spot. All I do is sell a 6-pack of bars and I'm done. I made back my booth fee. So that's why I try to stay on those same spots, because I know they're good, but I just can't do them for whatever reason. Okay, so now you at your event. So now you want to know, what do I need? What supplies do I need to prepare for this event? So what you're going to need is a way to process payments. I wouldn't write it down on an order form on one of these. I wouldn't write it on that, because one, some people are not going to want that. They're not going to want to give you that information and write it down, because some people, especially if they don't know you, they're not going to trust you enough to do that. I don't take checks. I don't like taking checks. So, especially because, again, these are people you don't know. Just like they don't trust you in getting credit card information, you're not going to trust them to get the check, because you will come across people writing bad checks. I have a lady that owes me $300 because of it. So don't take checks. Order forms, obviously, order forms. Lots of order forms, especially if it's going to be a big event. You're going to go through these a lot, and I would definitely get them to fill out the information at the top. What I would do is, after I've written up everything on the order form of what they've gotten, as they hand me their card, because I'm going to use Square, because Square is what I use to run my credit card, is I'm going to hand them this with a clipboard, and I'm going to say, here, fill this out for me while I'm swiping your card, or while I'm backing your order, or getting you changed, because that way they're doing something while I'm doing something, and by the time they're done, I'm done, and then we do a swap and we're good to go. And that way I have this information. So what I tell them when they're filling this out is, they can put whatever they want on here. If they don't want to give me their information, that's fine. But I do tell them, like, hey, I want, to do follow-ups. I want to check in on you. I want to see if you need bulbs. I want to see if you need that. I do not harass you. I'm not going to pressure you. If you don't want to give me information, that's fine. But I do, I want to do my job. I want to follow up with you. And hopefully I can retain them as a customer. So, and most of the time they're going to give it to me once I tell them what I want it for. But if they don't, again, you can't, beat them up if they won't give you the information, even though sometimes you want to. Like, give me it. Samples as well. I use samples with business cards. My business card has a sample with it, and that way it kills two birds with one stone. Opportunity packets. These are people that you talk to that are interested in joining your team. Give them an opportunity packet and get their information, and that way you can follow up with them later. Host packets, because again, events are not just for selling. They're there to help get parties. They're there to help build a team. So have host packets, because somebody may book a party right on the spot, and you can have your host packet and hand it over to them. They can start collecting orders before you even reach out to them to get the testers. Flyers, any of like the harvest flyers that are going on right now, the warm of the month flyers, I hand them out there. It's a great way to get rid of them and a great way for them to see all the new products. Tables, obviously, tablecloths, apparel. So Scentsy has some shirts. They're not the best to me, you know, they're pretty basic. I like glitter, so I did post on the group 2 groups that I'm in that has their licensed vendors, and they do Scentsy apparel, and they usually have stuff going all the time to where you could just hop on it and get an order that we have a Scentsy shirt. But I mean, you can still get a Scentsy shirt through this Scentsy family store, but I like glitter. I want bling, you know, I want it to look pretty. Pens, business cards if you don't have samples with them. Let's see. Yeah, brochures and product sheets. This is, I don't hand out catalogs when I do an event. For one, I may not have them as recurring customers later. So those catalogs are more expensive, and to me, I don't want to give them my catalogs for that reason. So I use the product brochures or the product sheets because they're less expensive, and that way if I never see them again, then at least they have my information and they have the flyer and they have all that, and then I can just hope that they're going to order from me later. So I think that's all of my business supplies. Again, Square for processing payments. There's other companies that do them, but I just like Square, but PayPal does it as well. I don't accept checks, but again, that's up to you. Order forms, brochures or product sheets, samples, opportunity packets, host packets, flyers, tablecloths and tables, apparel that we can be branded. You gotta be branded. Pens and business cards. I have a bag that's devoted just for my events, and it has my opportunity packets. It has my order forms, it has my clipboards, it has my pens, it has my host packets, it has everything but samples. It pretty much has everything in there, and my samples, I have a separate bag for them and I just grab them. That way, and then when I leave and I get ready for an event, everything that I have to have is right basically in 2 bags. All of my main necessities are in those bags. Anybody have questions so far? I think I have. I don't even know where my event bag's at. Guess I should find that first. But okay, so next, how do I build a stock? The best way to build stock, utilizing host rewards. Collect your own orders and submit it as your own party, and use your host rewards for your inventory. Again, don't ever spend more than what you can afford. Don't spend your own money, spend Scentsy money. So for me, when I was starting to build, I was utilizing the host rewards, and I was using my commission in order to, you know, pay for my inventory. I was never putting any of my own money into my stock. I was putting my commission in it. I was reinvesting. Do you need to have cash to make change, or just I charge tax, so I keep change. I guess that should be another supply business tool, is some way to make change. So I have a cash box, and the day of or the day before, I go to the bank and I get change. I usually, depending on how big the event's going to be, I may take out 50 or 200, and I do change in quarters, all the changes, and dollars and fives. You don't need 10s, you don't need 20s, because by the end of the event, you're going to have plenty of 20s and probably a lot of 10s. So those are the ones I usually get. The bank usually gives me a weird look when I'm asking them for about $55 in ones, but whatever, they can't judge. Back to building stock and combining orders. So this is something that I have shown some of you guys before, but when you go and submit a party and someone's done a party for you and you're about to go submit it, try to find something here. Okay, so I combine orders if 3 people were ordered and one person ordered a warmer, another person ordered a warmer, and they're both $35 warmers, and another person ordered a 6-pack of bars. That's how you collected the orders, but that's not how you can enter them. You can enter them as a combine and save. So, for example, if that order, the 2 warmers and 6-pack of bars, 35 plus 35 and 25. That's $95 that you collected. But you can enter this as a combine and save. And I think they're... guess I should know that. How much are they? I think they're 85. If I can find it. If there is a combine and save. Where is the page at? There it is. Okay, so 2 35 warmers, it's 85. So I'm going to enter it as a combine and save for the 2 warmers and 6 bars for $85. Now I have a $10 difference. I can use that for 2 bars. I'm still entering it as 95. I'm just utilizing the combine and saves and using the difference to get stock. So, and then you're not paying any extra money and you're still getting the same PRV and the host is still getting the same amount of a host space, but you're getting free stuff. My favorite, Bettine, she's on our team, but her party used to always be like that. Everybody would order like a 3-pack of bars or a warmer. They never used combine and saves, and I would enter them as combine and saves. And by the time I got done, I compared to what the host space should be to what it really is, and then I would order the difference in stock. So sometimes it was like 30, 40 bucks and a difference. So then I lost her and she became a team member and I lost that. So then I had to share it with her after she signed up. She was probably like, really? It's like, yeah, sorry. But combining orders is really helpful. During the 10% months, it's not beneficial to do it because you're really only going to save maybe 50 cents or so if you combine them. So I don't bother on the 10% months like August and February, but any other time, the parties, I use combine and saves and utilize the difference in the price and do that. If you're kind of like, huh, that makes no sense to me, then when you go do an order, sit down, put all the orders out, and look at what you can put into a combine and save and what you can save, and then use that difference in your stock. Commission. Reinvest in your business. Use your commission and get some stuff you need. Get some bulbs, get some nightlight bases, get some bars. And ultimately, it's give it time. It did not take me overnight to build what I have. So let me show you what I have on my bars. Those are on my bars, and I still have more coming. It took me 4 years to build that. 3.5 to 4 years to build that. It's not going to happen overnight. So don't, think that you need to go and put in an order of $40,000 so you can have in stock. Don't do that. Slowly build. Utilize the warmer of the month. Warmer of the month is great because, one, it's PRV or for you. That means you get commission on it. You can resell it. Here you go, Bev. You can resell your warmer of the month, which means you can make back what you spent, and you can, it's a write-off. So, because the flyers, and you can make some samples with the scent, and it's a write-off. So, and then when you sell that, save the money, work to get the difference to get your party, and then reorder. And then now you got more stuff to reorder. So warmer of the month kits are very beneficial if you're somebody that wants to build stock. It's really going to help you. I think that's all I have how to build stock. Be patient. Don't go broke. Okay, so can I do events with little or to no stock? Yes, you can. Events are not always about the sale. They're not always about the PRV. They're a great opportunity to meet new customers and get new leads, to get parties booked, to get new team members, to network with other direct sellers to find out of other events as well. So you utilize that time to get your name out there. Something about booking games, or booking parties with a booking game. Katie Farner had a great video of, it's a dice game, and basically it's one die, and it's a sheet that has, like, depending on what number is rolled, they get something extra out of the party. So if you're talking to somebody and they're interested in doing a party, you can say, hey, I'm doing a booking special at this event. Would you be interested in rolling this and seeing what you get? And then they roll it, and then you pull out a little sheet and you show them, like, hey, you get $10 extra in host credits, or you get a free nightlight, and that helps book parties as well. You can YouTube it. Go on YouTube and search Katie Farner vendor events, or booking part. I don't know what it was, but I came across it. So, but you can do that. You know, network, focus on that. You don't have to have inventory to do that. You can do your display, use your enrollment kit as your display, and just use that and get your contacts. You'll be surprised, you know, you'll run into a lot of people that don't have a consultant. And sometimes even having it that way, where you're not really trying to sell stock, it might be easier for you to retain those customers with you, because you're going to have to order for them to deliver it. You're going to have to make your package look pretty. You're going to be able to talk to them and chit chat and create that relationship with them. Okay. Booth setup. So I have a lot of notes on this one. I'm going to try. So normally, with a few days before an event, they will email you and tell you what time you can get there to set up. And I would say at the minimum, be there an hour before it's time. So if it officially starts at 11, be there no later than 10, preferably earlier. That way you can set up. You can figure out how you want your booth, because typically you're never going to know what it looks like until the day of. You know, and let's see, it kind of gives you a chance to get organized and get situated for yourself, because it's a little more frustrating when you're rushing to get there because you're running late and you're having to unpack, get everything set up, and people are starting to come at you while you're still unpacking, which happens to me many times because I tend to be late. But yeah, and you're rushing around, you're trying to find where your change went because you haven't put it in the cash box yet, and you haven't found your order forms, and then, you know, you can't find your bags, and you're just, you know, screw it. You're just totally flustered now. So, you know, if you get there early enough, you can set up, you can kind of relax, you can go and walk around, you can talk to the other vendors, you can network with them, you can give them your business card, they can give your business card or their business card. You know, it kind of helps make things a little bit easier when it starts. That way you're not overwhelmed. And also another reason why to leave early is because you never know about traffic, especially if you're not familiar with the area. I remember there was one time where I thought that it was only a 25-minute drive, and then when I get there and I didn't realize I was going to deal with traffic, and I was late showing up. It had already started and I wasn't set up yet, so I'm here rushing to set up. I'm already late. People are coming by. They want bars, they want bulbs, and I'm still trying to set up at the same time, and it's just, yeah. So always try to leave early as possible and get there early and get set up. Ultimately, there's no wrong way of setting up your table. That's the beauty of Scentsy, is that you decide how you want it. It's your business. If you want it to look more display and collect orders, if you want more inventory, if you know, it's entirely up to you how you want it to be. And make it eye-appealing. For me, this is my struggle. I bring way too much. I have this fear that every time I don't bring a scent or I don't bring a warmer, I'm getting asked for that. And it always happens. If I run out of coconut lemongrass and I didn't bring it because I was out of it, I get asked for it. If I have a bring back my bar scent that I know that I have on hand, but I didn't pack it because it doesn't sell well, I'm gonna get asked for that. It happens every time. So and a warmer, same thing. If I don't bring a warmer that I have on hand, I'm gonna get asked for that warmer, and I have this constant fear of doing that. So for me, I bring too much. I bring way too many bars. I bring way too many warmers. I don't have room for it on my table. So, and then yeah, that's my constant huge struggle, because I want everything brought to the event, because that way they can always find something they want. But it never works out that way. So for me, I end up stuffing everything I possibly can onto my table, and I never have enough room to hold my iPad or the iPod for my square, or I don't have room for my cash box, or I don't have room to put, you know, maybe a raffle box, you know. So that's kind of where I struggle with, because if I have a small booth, then I struggle with that really a lot. I start bringing more tables, and then it's a lot of tables, and then struggle's real. Okay. Enter orders and payment on the workstation. No. I would not do that, because one, I mean, you can. I mean, you have your phone, so you can always enter it through there and take the payment and ship it to them. But if I were to bring a laptop, you're going to run into losing power. You're going to run into, what else is there? Not having service, so you're not going to be able to actually run it. I don't ever bring a laptop with me. If I bring my iPad, I'm solely using it to run my Square payments, and that's it. I don't ever bother entering orders or anything like that. I don't do any of that while I'm there. If I get an order after the fact to enter afterwards, I deal with it when I get home. I had one lady that wanted to order from the new catalog from from Fredericksburg Fair, and she gave me all of her information, and then I took it home with me, and I texted her the day before I had to run it and like, hey, don't forget I'm ordering this, and she's like, okay, everything's good. So I don't bother with it, and you're not gonna have time, especially if it's at a busy event. You're not gonna have time to do all that. Let's see, make it accessible. So it's the smell that sells. I can 100% believe that you have to put bars out front. You need them to see bars first. At the Fredericksburg Fair, I had, if you guys remember how my table was, like when you walked on this side, not coming from this side, if you ever saw the booth, I had the cash register, and then I had a small table over here, cash register was here, and first I did not have any bars. I just had warmers. Nobody was stopping by. I moved the warmers back and I put bars front. People were stopping and they were smelling the scents, and then they were coming into the booth, because a lot of times they don't realize that you can walk into the booth because the way I had it set up, and there was no other way I could set it up. So a lot of times they'll stop and smell those scents, and I'll tell them to come into the booth and smell the rest, and that's, you know, kind of how I get them into the booth and I can start talking to them. But yes, gotta have bars. To have bars are what is going to get them to stop first. It's not about your designing skills, it's about the products. So you want to showcase your products. You want to have all the warmers out, you want them to see the warmers. I know there's times where I may stack the boxes if they have a picture in the front, and every one of them are going to tell me, I need to see it. They want to see it. They want to see it lit up. I don't light up all my warmers, only because I usually don't have electricity anyway. But if I do and they really like it, I may ask them, do you want to see it lit up? Especially certain warmers like the Chasing Fireflies, or any of like the lampshade warmers or the Calavera. Any of those I usually will offer if I have electricity to light it up. That way they can see what it looks like. Sometimes that's what sells it. As soon as I light it up, they're like, it's mine, I want it. I don't list pricing, because even if I did, they're still going to ask me. It's just, you know, I would have like stuff all over the booth what the prices were, and I still get asked. So I don't even bother with it. It's a waste of time for me to put it up, because they're still gonna ask me. And it's like, and these people buy Scentsy all the time. I don't know why they think pricing is gonna be different, but I use catalog pricing, so I don't know. But also it creates a conversation, so you're making them having to ask. Whatever you showcase more of on your warmers is what you're going to sell the most of. So if you showcase more nightlights than warmers, you're going to probably sell more nightlights than warmers. If you showcase more warmers than nightlights, you're going to have more warmers. At the fair, I had more warmers out than I had nightlights out, and I sold more warmers because of it. Let's see. What if you're at a place that doesn't have electricity? Just set it out and have them smell the bars. Yes, I do not, most of my events that I do not have electricity. So they come in and they can still see the warmers. I still have them out, and they'll smell the bars. I mean, it doesn't stop them from buying the warmers, but if I do have electricity, I usually will have one or two of them lit up, especially the night lights, so they can see them. But other than that, you know, they'll smell the bars. The bars is what's going to get them, because that's a guaranteed sell. You're going to get the bars. Let's see. Let's see. Try to create a layout where people can come into your booth and feel welcomed. Sometimes your booth, you can kind of set it to where it's a little bit of a U shape, so where they can walk in and they can shop. I try to create that, but sometimes it doesn't work that way. Again, one, I bring too much, and I need more tables, and I can't do it like a U shape because of the tables. Others is just the way it's kind of set up and the way they put me. I can't create a U shape. But I tried to make it that way because some people say like, oh, if you have a table and you're sitting behind it, it creates the barrier. I think some people think too much into this stuff. So, I mean, it doesn't stop me from selling regardless of where my table is at. But I do prefer it in a U shape so they can come walk in, especially if it's going to rain, because then they can come inside and not get rained on, and they can shop. So that's kind of how I do it. But again, whatever you want. If you start out with just a table and just set it up. Don't stress. Don't overthink it. Don't freak out. Don't think you gotta spend a whole bunch of money to have stock. Just breathe. Let's see. Chair versus no chair. So I've been watching videos on all of this stuff, and this is a topic that I have to agree to disagree. Personally, for me, I know it may come off a little cocky, but I feel that Scentsy sells itself. I don't really need to be out front and harassing people and try to reel them into my booth. That's the way I feel. I don't like that if I'm walking by and at an event and everybody's out of their booth and they're trying to come at me. They're trying to throw stuff at me. They're trying to give me samples and give me flyers. I have no interest in any of that stuff, and more than likely as I walk around the corner, I'm tossing it in the trash anyway. So, or it's going to sit in the bottom of my purse until I finally dump it out, and then it's still going to go in the trash. I don't like that. I don't feel like I need to do that. That's just me. There's other people that will say, Angela, you're completely wrong. You need to be out front. You need to be talking to these people and all this. Well, you know what? I don't feel like I need to do that. So that's just me. Also, for me, I can't stand on my feet for long hours at a time because it will kill my back in the process. So I do sit in the chair, and then when people come to my booth, I will aim up and I am talking to them because my mind is busy talking to them, and I'm not worried about my back hurting. If it's busy, I'm sitting on my feet. I'm not going to sit down. I'm going to be standing the whole time. So it's just, this is where I have to agree to disagree. I don't feel like I need to be standing the whole time in the event, especially when it's extremely slow, because you're going to come across events where they're going to be really slow. You're going to have maybe 15-20 minutes of a lot of busy work, and then the rest of it's going to be slow. And it's just how it is, and I don't want it's up to you. You're going to see other ones that are going to stand the whole entire time, and I'm like, oh, that's exhausting. So like, why? There's only 5 people selling right now or buying. Why do I need to stand? I don't know. I had, like, at the fair, there was one lady that walked by, and there was another vendor that was out, and they were handing out flyers and trying to talk to all these people, and she walked by, and she's like, no. Why is it that I have to walk down these things and get harassed by all these people? All I want to do is walk through and come over here. Leave me alone. And I was like, and I just kind of sat there like, okay, I'm just not going to say nothing to you. And she came right over to me and she goes, you're the one who I want to see. And I'm the one that's not out of my booth. I'm not harassing anybody. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm sitting in my booth and I'm just waiting for people to come into my booth. And she came on over and said, you're the one who I want to see. So I didn't have to stand out there and harass people. She was coming to me. So again, it's up to you. Some people say no. I don't care. I bring a chair regardless. Some vendor events offer tables, chairs, and electricity, but they offer them at a fee. So that's just something to remember. If you don't want to have to worry about bringing a chair, you don't want to have to worry about bringing a table, and you want electricity, you may be prepared to spend $15, $20 more for your spot rather than somebody that does not bring a chair. It's bringing their own chair, bringing their own table, and don't need electricity. So keep that in mind. Pricing. I use catalog pricing unless I'm trying to get rid of something. I may have a special area of discounted warmers. I may at the fair, because I just had an abnormal amount of warmers, I discounted them. But again, I didn't promote it. I didn't put any pricing on it. When they came into the booth and I was, they asked me for pricing, I told them like, hey, these warmers are $20, everything else is 20% off, and and that's what I had, because I couldn't post it because it's a special that I'm doing that no other consultant can do. So that's why it's out of compliance to post any type of specials you're doing. So keep that in mind. So anybody have questions, they could post now, and I'm going to do a wrap up on anything else. Let's see. When you're getting ready to go to an event, have goals. What do you want to sell? How much do you want to sell? How many opportunity packets do you want to hand out? How many host packets do you want to hand out? How many parties books do you want? How many potential team member leads did you want? How many more new events do you want to find out about? You know, have a goal of what you want to do out of this event. What do you want out of it? Do not block other booths. You know, when somebody's coming by and they don't want to buy from you and they move on to the next one, don't block the other one. Don't stand in their way. Don't go over and start talking to them and bring them back. You know, don't bash other companies. Even competitors. You have no idea how often this is on other competing companies. They will bash Scentsy bad. And a lot of it, personally to me, is just that they know Scentsy is a more dominant company in the industry when it comes to, you know, candles. And so a lot of people, it's more household name. Even though there's people that still don't know what Scentsy is, it's still a common company versus other ones. So in their way of trying to bring us down is to bash us and say how we're terrible and I mean really bad stuff. And they try to up talk their company, but trust me when I say the customers will speak for themselves. If somebody has experienced all of those companies, they will flat out tell them like, no, you're not that great. Scentsy is better. I know Scentsy is better. I have no interest in buying from you. And they'll tell them like it is. So don't stoop to their level. I had at the Phillips fair last year, there was a rep there that was with another company, and she did nothing but bash Scentsy the whole time. I refused to stoop down to level, and I never did. And I just left it at that, and people would still come to me and they would still buy from me because I wouldn't stoop to, it's petty and it's not me. I don't believe in that. I don't talk bad about other companies. I respect anybody that's in direct selling, whether it's a company that I don't buy from, and I don't encourage it to anybody of you guys. Just be nice, play nice, and be whatever. You know, it's not worth it. It speaks more about them and their company than it speaks for you. Know your products. Know them. Know what scents are available and what products, if you have them. So for example, Honeymoon Hideaway is a scent I don't like in the bar. It's too light for me. I don't really like it. But I know the Honeymoon Hideaway is really good in a scent pack. If I have the scent pack on hand and somebody wants the bar, I will offer them, hey, have you tried the Honeymoon Hideaway in a scent pack? They will probably say no. Some of them may say, what is a scent pack? Now you're going to introduce them into a new product they never heard of, and you're more likely are going to get an upsell because they're going to try it because you're going to share it with them. So know your pricings, know your products. I usually keep a catalog on hand around me because I may not know all the pricings, especially if it's a warmer or something that's new or something I discontinued. But try to know your pricings, and I mean, worst case scenario, if I'm off $5, whatever, but I mean, I'm not going to go after them and get the $5 difference, but I try to know my pricings as best as I can. Now, if Destiny or LJ is with me, they don't know the pricings, so I definitely have to have a catalog next to them, because one time somebody came and wanted the Chasing Fireflies warmer, and he told her that it was $55. So, and she didn't buy it because of that. She was like, no, that's a little pricey. And I had to be like, that's not the price. So, there. Back on supplies, I think there was something I forgot. I can't remember what it is. I don't remember. Cash. I think I needed to add a way to make change. A cash box, or maybe like a bank bag. Like this one here is a bank bag, or something like that. A square. I posted links to where you can register. It's free. Your reader's free. You can actually buy one at the store, but you have to pay for it. Where you can register and they can mail it to you. So if you have an event coming up in the next few weeks, I would go ahead and register now, and that way you can get your square. You can get everything situated. If you have in a few weeks, get your supplies now. Get everything now so you're ready to go when your event happens. I think that's about it. I'll probably post some pictures Oh, actually, you probably can. I could probably bump up some of mine because I usually share my table to you guys, let you guys see it, and you'll see that Angela goes overboard. I have issues. I bring too much. But I think that's about it. Most importantly is have fun. Events are fun. I really enjoy it. It's a little exhausting by the end of it, and a long day, but it's fun. And a lot of people that I know now are from the events, and that I enjoy that. But I think that's about it. I think that's all I have on events. So if anybody else has any questions, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and end this. And yeah, I hope this helped. Hope you guys are ready for the fall and the event season coming up. I have events starting this weekend and all the way into November. I may have like 1 or 2 weekends that I'm actually free. But other than that, I have events every single weekend. And one of them's during the day or during the weeknight. I've done that one for 3 years. So that's all I got. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned some information on events and feel a little bit more comfortable doing them. I highly suggest doing at least one of them. I absolutely enjoy doing events. Don't ever feel intimidated because you don't have stock. You know, bring what you have and go with it. You know, do warmer of the months. My first event that I did that was with Scentsy was at Geico. And I used my commissions for like 2 or 3 months to kind of bulk it up. And I went in there and I was a hot mess. I was so nervous. And I remember I forgot my tablecloths. And I was so freaking out because LJ at that time wasn't working. He was in a seasonal layoff. And so he had to be called into work. And so he was going to be there with me. And I was like, okay, he's like my security blanket. So I was going to be alright. And then sure enough, by the time we pulled up into Geico, his work called him in that day. And I was like, no. So I had to go in there and set up by myself. I forgot the tablecloths. I was freaking out. And sure enough, by 9 o'clock, you know, when it started at 9 o'clock in the morning, it became so busy that I never had the chance to be nervous anymore. I just kind of just went with it and just got thrown into it, and I ended up selling $1,200 that day. So, you know, you gotta step out your comfort zone every now and then. I'm not offering any of my stock during the next few months just because I have so many events coming up and they're all very big events. So I know I'm going to need them, especially for the the State Fair. That's a 10-day event and I'm going to need everything I have. So there's no way I'm going to be able to lend out any stock during the fall right now. So, sorry. I let everybody know that ahead of time that you're on your own this summer, or this fall. Not this summer. Screw summer. I hate summer. But, you know, sorry. I wish I could. I usually will. I have no problem lending out stock, but this fall time, I bulked up on some really big events, and I want to make sure I'm prepared for them because I don't want to go into them and not have anything. I'd rather have the issue of having too much than having an issue where I don't have enough. So, guess that's about it. Event season, fall's here. Everybody wants pumpkin. Everybody wants fall scents, the cinnamon scents. It's so much easier during this next few months, but really work your business. Try to get these events done because they're going to help you so much when spring, summer comes around, and you get, you know, then you'll be too busy working your business than listen to me complain how much spring, summer sucks. So have a wonderful night, everybody, and get out there and work your Scentsy business. Be hustlers.